Yibane, we will build it. Olam chesed yibane. We will build this world from love. Yibane, we will build it.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's Elul Soul Brew. Curated voices from around the world, bringing you on a journey through introspection and inspiration leading up to the high holidays. I'm Rabbi Bluth, host and producer of the Soul Brews with the Beth Tzedek Center for Spiritual Well-Being. This morning, we're hearing from a Toronto local, the urban geographer Dan Rotsztain. Dan Rothstein is an artist, a writer, a cartographer based in Toronto, Turtle Island. Rothstein also lives on the Toronto Island, and his work examines the relationships to the places that we inhabit. You might know him from his most recent viral video of a person walking around downtown Toronto with a with a hula hoop that demarcates what keeping 6 feet distance from everyone looks like, and his advocating for more pedestrian spaces in the city. He's been in the Globe and Mail, the Toronto Life and Spacing magazine, all over the internet, and I recommend you follow his Instagram handle at the Urban Geog. Anyways, Rothstein grew up in our community, and we have a lot to learn from him around our relationship to this place that we call home. So Rothstein, we're so excited to have you join us for the Soul Brew and share with us your relationship with the land during Elul. So please tell us, leading up to the high holidays, what's your soul brewing?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Daniel Rotsztain. I'm the urban geographer, and my soul is brewing our relationship to the land. So we're here on Toronto Island. I've lived here for almost 2 years now, going on 3. It's the height of summer, it's almost Elul, and you can see how green it is, how intense the growth is. We're walking in one of my favorite parts of the island. I call it the Birch Grove, and you can see snake grass growing amongst the birches and the dogwood. And part of that relationship to the land is that humans are here. Toronto Island is not a wilderness. It's got a very integrated relationship with the humans that have been here for millennia, and I'm happy to be part of that history. So I recently learned that Elul stands for Ani Ledodi Li, which is the words you often hear as part of a marriage, the first words of a ketubah, which means I am for my beloved is for me. And when I think about that, I think about my relationship with the land. And I think that I am my land's beloved, and my land is beloved for me. So, to me, that's about reciprocity. It's about understanding that I'm not dominating the land, that I am an active part of a relationship where I take care of the land and the land takes care of me. We know that in what is now called Canada, but some people call Turtle Island, there's been human inhabitation for millennia. And I think about my own family history, and my family came to Canada after World War II, after the Holocaust, and we found safe refuge in this beautiful, bountiful land. And I'm Ashkenazi Jewish, and I'm living on the land of the Anishinaabe and the Haudenosaunee, and many other cultures that have settled here after that. And I think about what is my responsibility to the land, and how is that codified in the treaties that existed far before Europeans came. I think about my relationship with the land, and I think about the history of human cultures here that go back millennia. I think about the wampum belts, which are the treaties that govern this land and our relationship to it and our relationship to each other before Europeans came. And as a European immigrant to this land, I am implicated in these treaties. So there's much our trees as they were the trees that were here before. And two important wampum belts come to mind. One of them is called the dish with one spoon. And the dish with one spoon was between the Haudenosaunee and the Anishinaabe, who shared the land that we're on right now. And it was all about sharing resources peaceably amongst two nations. So the imagery is that you have one dish and one spoon. It's a spoon and it's not a knife, so it's a peaceful object. And as you pass around the dish and spoon to your brethren and other nations, when you get the dish back, it should still be somewhat full. So when you're sharing it with others, you're not supposed to gorge, you're not supposed to take as much as possible. You're supposed to understand that you're sharing the resources amongst you and other beings and other nations. So that's a very environmental message about taking only what you need and recognizing that you are, a part of a greater network of humans and other beings. The other wampum belt that is important to us is the two-row wampum belt. And this one was from the 1600s between the Dutch, who were some of the first Europeans in New York State, which was part of the greater Haudenosaunee Confederacy, which includes what is now Toronto. It was between the Dutch and the Haudenosaunee. And the two-row wampum belt has two purple lines going down this belt. And one of the lines is supposed to be First Nations, Indigenous people, the Haudenosaunee. The other line is settlers, the Dutch, any other immigrants that have come after that. So you have these two lines going side by side, and they're not crossing over each other. They're not interfering with one another. They're going side by side in the river of life in peace, unity, and respect. So going back to Elul, Ani Ledodi, Ledodi Li, I am for my beloved is for me. When I think about my relationship with the land, my beloved, I see that there are codified ways of treating this place with respect. And in doing so, I become the land's beloved. Elul is the month that the earth was created in. So Rosh Hashanah is the day humanity was created, but the 25th of Elul is the day that the earth was created. And so as somebody who's a geographer who thinks about land, it's important to me to recognize that the land was created first. And then many days later, humans came. And in many creation stories, including the Haudenosaunee Sky Woman story and the Anishinaabe story of mud going on the turtle's back, the animals were there first and then humans came. When I'm thinking about my relationship with land, I think about the plants around me, and this teaching comes from Ellie Joseph, who I know from Six Nations Haudenosaunee Reserve near Brantford, one of the closest big reserves to Toronto. Thank you, Ellie, for teaching me about dogwood, which has this beautiful red bark. You can especially see it in the winter, but dogwood is actually part of the willow family, and dogwood is a medicine. And it grows everywhere, especially on the island. But as we know, willow and dogwood are the original painkiller. And actually, the original aspirin had willow and dogwood compounds in it. A lot of the things I'm sharing with you about Elul, I learned from Rabbi Bluth. So thank you, Bluth, for teaching me about Elul and bringing a lot of meaning to the month that we're in. So Elul, she said, was a lot about tshuva, which we've translated a lot as repentance. But Bluth told me that kind of a more broad meaning of tshuva is to return to, and to return to your highest self. So in terms of a tshuva activity in this month of Elul, what grounds me is understanding where I am on the surface of the earth, understanding the dynamics of the plants and animals around me. And I think it's a really great month after the frenzy of the summer when I was totally ungrounded, running around, swimming, seeing friends at a social distance, existence. As the weather kind of turns, it's time to come back to the earth. And I don't know if you have a meditation practice or if you'd like to start one, but sometimes for me, meditation isn't about emptying my mind, but it's about going on a walk and paying attention to the things around me. So I recommend to you, as kind of a Soul Brew activity, is to go on a walk without a purpose. Give yourself an hour. And actually, during the height of lockdown, this was one of my, my activities that gave me the most solace, was just going on a walk, going on streets I'd never been on, down pathways I'd never been to. If you feel more comfortable, have a friend join you. But just kind of follow your nose. See where your eyes bring you. Elul is a time when God, Creator, the Spirit, comes down to the earthly plane before we go up to the plane of Spirit and God and the Creator during Rosh Hashanah. So Elul is the time when God comes down to us. And as a geographer, I find that incredibly charged concept that Hamelech Basadeh, the king is in the field. And we often think about in Judaism that divinity is kind of disembodied from our relationship with the land, that divinity is kind of a cerebral moment, which it really feels like during Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. But in the month of Elul, divinity is down on the earthly plane. So this is an incredibly charged time to be exploring your relationship with the land. Hamelech Basadeh, the king is in the field, the king is in the lake, the king is in the sand on the island. Where are you? Where is there a body of water near you? Is there a creek or a river? Is there a buried river? Go find the divinity on the earthly plane. I hope you enjoyed my Soul Brew. I hope you enjoy exploring the divinity surrounding your home, learning from the plants, learning from other beings, learning from other humans, understanding our relationship with the treaties and wampums as Jewish people on this land, which we call Toronto, but is known as Takaranto and Turtle Island. If you want to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram. My name is Daniel Rotsztain. My handle is @theurbangeog. I wish you a supercharged Elul, a Shana Tova, and I hope we can connect.
We will build this world from love. Even now we